All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are just about ready with the first game here, and it's going to be Tempo Storm up against Envy. What do you think about that?
I think that Tempo, I completely agree with everything that's been said on the desk so far. Tempo Storm seems like they have a lot going their way. Obviously, there's the star power on Envy, but it seems like the stars have been going all over which way. You know, they can't really seem to get them to focus into this one killer laser beam, right, of star power.
You've been watching too much Star Wars, haven't you?
And exactly right. It all comes together, and then I don't see Tempo Storm, falling. They're gonna juke to the left, dodge the beam, and just send Henny Skywalker in there to just blow him up. This is all over the place, man. But I think Tempo Storm are gonna take it.
If Envy are the first order, then who'd be Kylo Ren on that team? I'd be happy. Is he the mastermind of it?
Is he the mastermind, or is he the ultra emo guy who dresses all in black? Actually, Happy doesn't dress all in black. Who dresses all in black? Kenny kind of dresses all in black.
Could be. Maybe. He's kind of a badass as well, so
he is.
Good. I wouldn't rule that out.
Might lose his temper sometimes and proceed to wreck everything.
We'll leave that up, I think, to the people watching to figure that out exactly. Yanko did say he thought Envy could take this. The rest of the panel said Tempo Storm. I have Tempo Storm in this too. But it's not entirely unanimous here. There's a bit of a discrepancy going on, but we are about head-to-head in. It will be Dust2 first. Envy playing the last Brazilian team still left in the tournament. Hurts even a little bit to say that. But, they were taken out by the Chinese, obviously, Luminosity, earlier today. Devil already been tacked up a little bit. He want to take a bit of a fight, which means not unreasonable. Glock versus USPS at that range. The USP should come out on top, but not this time. And now they're setting up for what could easily be a bit of a push out long, which is not a bad idea. It's so early in the round. If they get some information, that's going to be cool, obviously. But MBK is dangerous close to middle right now.
He is, so they could go for a quick kind of backstab play with MBK if he wants, but they still have control of Cat. That's going to be very important here for Envy once Tempo Storm initiate this push. They've got the flashes, they got the smokes, everything going out, and Kenny, he's got the smoke to actually try and give himself some room to work with here. Trying to play on the edge, looking for the headshots, but he's under fire already. Apex is going to step in and take out Bolts, and Happy. The quick rotation working wonders here for Envy. They're actually shutting this down.
Well, Lucas finally getting one in return, but is it too late? Showtime also taking out Kenny. Devil's still low from earlier. That's going to be a nice kill from Happy. Taking out Henny, and Showtime falls. Lucas, last man left alive here. The bomb is not down, so he's just got a really long day ahead of him. He's going to get the one kill, looking for a fight. He's not sure where Devil is right now. He could guess that might be a CT spawn, but has finally confirmation. Picking up the bomb as well. This 2v1 is doable. He's got the health for it. No armor. But he will probably get shot in the face if anything is going to happen here. He's got the chest height for it as well. Box is there, and Devil with a really good rotation coming out along here. Lucas, going to be really hard for him to see that coming. He's reloading as well by the box, and now he's trapped and he can't really go anywhere. Trying to get up as well. He actually does escape for a moment. Got the Glock close range, shots down Happy. Looks for the next shot here. Oh, this would be one hell of a clutch for Lucas. He's hiding behind it. He's got the triple. He's looking for one more bullet here, and now to take Devil out of the round, and Tempo would be off to a perfect start. And he's just buying so much time. No kit on Devil either. Lucas, he's doing it. He's getting the kill, and there it is. Tempo Storm turning it around. Lucas with a quad kill. And the Brazilian team, what a turnaround.
And all I'm thinking the entire time is this can't possibly be happening. We're going to get a bit of a replay, obviously, but Lucas, hey, this is just a soul-shattering loss for Envy. Holy hell. 1v3 clutch, wins Tempo Storm, the pistol round, and somehow Envy are going to have to get their heads back in the game. They're already down Kenny as well at the beginning of this round. That's down to Henny. And if both Lucas and Henny are on point right now, if they're both going to be hitting shots, Lucas is certainly going to be fired up after that round. But if Henny's hitting shots as well, it's like the win condition for Tempo Storm. When both of those guys go ham, Tempo wins. So this is going to be nasty for Envy to come back from. That's such a just a soul-destroying loss.
They even were trying to be very careful in that 1v3, and still, they just gave him enough room to work with. Flashes coming out, Devil falling back, but he's close enough here for a one tap with the 5-7, except they jump on past it, making that very hard to accomplish. Phelps getting a kill with the UMP, and Happy up here. Not a lot of health, but with a scout.
He's got the chance to do some damage. Misses the first shot, though. So now Tempo, they might be aware, obviously, that there's going to be a scout playing, waiting for him. MBK looking for the headshot as well, but he gets tagged down, and Henny's going to get the kill. I mean, big shots being landed here by Tempo, and a flawless anti-eco round for them. Envy had gone for the force buy as well, so their economy is just going to be so low going into this next round. And Tempo, I mean, these first 2 rounds are doing nothing but build their confidence, whereas Envy, who are already lacking confidence coming into this match, knowing that they've got a lot of work ahead of them to try and get their team back up to that Tier 1 status, everything right now is just not going their way.
We heard in that pre-game interview that Apex was saying is he kind of preferred Tempo Storm over Virtus Pro just because they have a little bit less experience. But I mean, it's also true that means Envy have less experience against them. Now, I'm not sure how that works out, sort of balances out who gets the most out of that trade, but certainly something to consider that. It also means Envy have less of an idea about how the Brazilian team plays here. Henny, straight sniping Devil in T-spawn, in fact. And obviously, Bomb is about to go down here, and not much of a chance for Envy to do anything. But they got 2 kills. Maybe if they could steal a rifle somewhere, if MBK could find that, it'd be interesting.
They need to stop feeding kills to the MAC-10, though. This is worst-case scenario for Envy. When you're stuck without Kevlar, you're just so vulnerable to the aim punch, and that MAC-10, $600 per frag. That's the last thing you want to do right now.
Come a walking ATM.
Exactly, man. You're just donating money right now. And you do not want Tempo to just have, you know, a big bank going into this next round. Obviously, they're going to be sitting pretty with the perfect anti-eco. Now this follow-up round, they're all going to have just monstrous amounts of money in the bank. Bolt's sitting on 7,600 already. Phelps nearly 8K. Like, they get to do whatever the hell they want here, Tempo, whereas EnVyUs are going to be somewhat limited. Little light on the nades. Kenny, he did manage his economy, so he will be able to get that AWP glass cannon.
Yeah, and I'm going to be looking for Kenny, definitely. I mean, we did see some really cool plays from him yesterday. I mean, he was looking on point, and they are absolutely going to need it. And the panel did introduce Henny on the Tempo Storm side as being also very capable with the ult, but sometimes a little bit inconsistent, and I don't think that's wrong. Apex hiding in the corner, going to be turning around, getting the first kill, looking for the second as well. Fantastic play from Apex in the middle, and Kenny's here, shutting down Lucas, and now he just has to hide and wait for it, but he's going to go for a second peek, taking out Bolts and lining it up. Looks like he actually took that shot nearly through Apex, but he wouldn't have taken it, we would have taken more damage if that was the case. So a great round. Apex and Kenny alone there.
Yeah, beautiful holds, and really, I mean, just it was a little ugly for Tempo, unfortunately, that there was this this disconnect between the 2 players coming through. Showtime, she needed to, it looked like he was a little flash perhaps, but he needed to be right behind Phelps going through those doors so that, you know, it's a 1-for-1 trade. They get control of mid. Kenny then has to worry about mid. He has to worry about 2 angles, and that's how that B site take comes together for Tempo. The fact that one flank gets completely annihilated by Apex makes Kenny's job so much easier. Apex then rotates in, and it's all just, you know, glorious victory for Envy. So that was a big confidence-building round there for Envy. You know, okay, all of a sudden, things went right for you. You're getting the guys that you want to get frags, you know, they're getting frags on the board, basically. Apex and Kenny are the 2 heavy hitters here for Envy, so you want them to get that start in the big rifle round. So both of these teams right now it's going to start getting into that grind phase, where Tempo, because of how well it went at the beginning of the half, now they have big money to go into this next buy. They can still buy up nearly full, apart from Lucas, who's still on the Tech 9, but that's still a threat. And Envy, if they lose this round, it's going to get complicated.
I'd pay money to have that texture bug fix that Devil is looking at up there. Not that it makes no impact on the game, so obviously no reason to panic about it. But it happens every time someone boosts up there. You can sort of look over the wall and you're looking through a texture for no reason at all.
Ban him!
instant ban. Harassment causes too. Grenade going to be coming out. Devil in a really good position here. Turns around for the flashbang. Heads up play from him. Not an easy flash to dodge there, but he still goes down. He does a tremendous amount of damage to Lucas and Bolts both. So, I mean, actually still not such a bad defense. I'm impressed he turned around for the flash. Kenny showing himself in the back line here. And they've got the bomb still in upper dark with about 20 seconds. Selma, this is a mad round.
This is crazy as well. NBK has an op right now on EnVyUs side. They're running a double AWP strategy on Dust2, and Happy for the aggressive push. He actually goes looking for the fight, and that's going to play out beautifully. Apex is there to get a kill as well on Phelps, and Kenny holds the line on the B site. It's falling apart here for Tempo Storm so far. This round, it's all about Henny backing off to save his gun, and Happy, he heard the steps, so he's going to be hot on his heels here. Henny not going to miss the shot, so at least he has that going for him, and he should be able to survive. They won't be able to catch him in the end. But what is going on here? Tempo, they're just, I mean, well, actually, what's going on is that Envy, they're taking the fight to him. They aren't sitting by passively waiting. They're actually making pushes happen. They're making plays happen.
I think they were hoping they could get out long and then cause a distraction and run back to B. Now, the problem was once they get back to B, I think 3 of the players wanted to go out middle, and they wanted to leave one guy going in upper. The problem is the one guy going in upper had 18 seconds, and when he had the bomb, if he dies, it doesn't matter how if they win the mid fight, they're still going to lose the round. So some horrible miscommunication going on there on the Brazilian side, but this is a different tune altogether. They managed to actually open up on long with very limited equipment here. They obviously saved the AWP on Henny. and they shouldn't be able to get that kind of a trade going on. And they have a lot of time. NBK has the AWP up here for the other part of the double AWP setup, and that's interesting all on its own.
Yeah, no bolts. He's got the M4 as well. No Kevlar on him. NBK misses the shot, but there's Apex lying in wait. Springs out from cars, picks up 2 kills, sets himself up with the flash that allows him to actually get out of here in one piece. Henny not going to regain his vision in time. And so now the man advantage for Envy. Still 2 ops and the 1 rifle on Apex, but Apex is going to be all over the place. NBK making sure that they can't wrap back around on short. But with a minute left, it looks like Tempo Storm are going to commit. They did have a smoke to block off CT, but Apex, is he really going to go for the hero player? Does he just exactly count on his teammate NBK, who's going to be able to look over that smoke to get the job done? No reason to take the risk, and that was a great play there by Apex, showing that he has some patience. Although, as I say that, he does get picked in the end.
It looked like it was perfect timing to walk through that smoke, though. I'm surprised that Henny saw that coming. Now he's going to get the bomb down. They don't have any grenades. If they have a Molotov here, Henny's position would be so badly compromised. But he can actually stand and take these fights. Unless they time it really well, then they're going to end up fighting him one at a time instead of doing a proper 2v1. And they don't really have the time to rotate anywhere. This is a really tricky position. Henny, though, you could see he's squirming a bit. He's a little bit nervous. There goes the first peek. He knows that someone else is going to be there. Oh, he actually gets shot through the box, and there's a jumping shot coming through. It's going to be NVK to take him out. The first shot from Kenny actually rained in through the box and dropped him down to 6 health, and that made a big difference. I don't think the pistol shot would have killed him otherwise. Wow.
Super sick. I mean, despite Apex actually, you know, kind of fumbling at the end there, Henny just too quick with the AWP. That just kind of sucks for Apex. Still have to give props to him to not go for like the big play where he just tries to flash his way through NA style, through that smoke, and, you know, get in their face.
NA style.
Yeah, just wait.
Style.
Exactly, just wait for your teammates to have an impact. And, well, EnVyUs, they delivered, and they've stabilized, tied 3-3 now between both of these teams. And, well, Tempo, after that round of eco, they're going to have enough money to buy in this round, but they're very light on nades. So it comes down to basically, you know, quick action over here at long. Once again, it seems like this is a core part of Tempo Storm's game plan here at the beginning of the half, at least, is to take over long and then leave a man lurking behind. They aren't really putting too much attention on Upper Dark.
That mid play here from Envy should give them so much information to play off of. And now Happy's down there checking lower dark and upper dark. I mean, Envy have 80% of the information they need right now. Question is, what do they do with it? Are they just going to leave them boxed in here? I mean, Happy, if they ever rotate back towards upper, then it'll be hard for them to beat Happy in a fight straight up.
Still kind of reeling to see NBK using the op right now.
Yeah.
Over Happy. Like, what a change. Usually it's Happy. If Kenny doesn't have the op, usually it's Happy picking it up. But for NBK to be taking it right now and actually being effective with it.
Maybe Duncan has finally been making too many jokes.
He's got over the edge.
It's got to him. Well, look at this sneak in here again. Time is limited. Somehow, Kenny not reacting in time. It looked like there was all the time in the world there. Fantastic flashback. They line up. Oh, Apex spraying them down. It's a triple. Goes for the pistol, and he decimates Tempo Storm. Every single man on that long push down and out of the round. And Showtime now in a 1-on-4. What a disgusting flashbang. Showtime's got to be wondering, just interrogating his teammates as we speak.
Yeah, what happened? Because, I mean, I thought that they had turned around. I thought they had heard it bank off the wall, something along those lines, because it looked like the first man through actually turned around to avoid the flash.
Just to point out, that is a classic flashbang as well. That's a very, very common flashbang. It's sort of, if you're playing Dust2, you know that flashbang. There's no doubt about it. Even at a matchmaking level, people will use that flashbang, but this was incredible. Yeah,
it was Phelps who was turned around.
It's, I mean, again, I don't know how many, there must be some new people watching this as well. It's very, very, very hard to hit even a flashbang that fully blinds 2 people. 4, it becomes exponentially more difficult the more people you add. It's so hard at this level. People almost always turn around for it. That was absolute madness. I'm wondering now if there was like a second flashbang we couldn't see behind Apex or something. Someone else threw another one. Well, this is obviously a round where there's not much going on. There is Showtime with the AK, and Lucas also picking up a kill. And oh my god, Lucas with the second Deagle shot, making this round super expensive, and maybe even more than that. Apex just overextending maybe a fair bit there, leaving Kenny alone in a 1-on-2.
But Kenny's got the op, and he's got the position on Catwalk as well. So this comes down to whether Tempo decide to get antsy and start peeking at him, or if they're just going to sit tight and wait. There's the wallbang attempt, not going to connect this time. Well, at this point, Kenny, it does seem like he wants to back off. Wise decision. They don't really have fantastic money on EnVyUs' side. Some of these rounds have been a little close. So he's actually looking to back off with this AWP, hold on to it, and look to make it a little bit more expensive here for Tempo Storm. But this was an eco round from Tempo Storm, so they're going to be able to buy regardless of the outcome here. If any of them die, doesn't really matter. They will have full money to buy in the next one. And, well, Showtime should be able to save the op. Yeah, he'll make it out in time as well. So nicely done here. That's just, I mean, it's hard to say anything other than that just comes down to sick headshots from Lucas. I mean, he takes out Devil rotating on long. He opens up the side as well. 2 big 1-digs basically make it all possible because the rest of Tempo Storm are with him, so they can actually act off of that, off of those 2 big kills, and just go running onto the site.
It's got to put Envy just a little bit on tilt because those are usually the kind of rounds that they end up winning. Now they're faced with an opponent that is quite capable, it seems, of doing the same. Down in middle again. Fast, actually. Not even running into lower dark. Usually you do that through the smoke, but he's hiding in a smoke in the middle. So this is some true ninja play coming out of Happy right here. A bold strategy. Lucas has already got the opening frag. Kenny looking at the edge there for the cross. He knows no one coming up catwalk because he's got Happy listening for that right now. So a lot of innovation again. Envy are really well informed in these rounds, and it's Devil's time to come through. But look at Bolts and Henny getting a refrag here, and there Kenny going to be going down. It's Tempo Storm. They just bring it right back. It doesn't even matter at this point whether or not Envy know what's happening. They actually just cannot stop the Brazilian storm that just coming into that A bomb site. Incredible.
This just feels like it's crazy because Envy keep trying to go for this guessing game that, you know, Tempo Storm are going to stop going long eventually, right? You know, put the focus on catwalk, smoke up mid, try and stumble them up. If they go into upper dark, you know, try and get some play there. But instead, Tempo Storm, they aren't changing. They just keep going for the same strategy. It's working for them, so they're not changing up. They just keep pressing forward, and Envy, they just get caught out. Henny, full blind, will pick up the first kill. Phelps trading 1 for 1. And now Happy with the dig. You know this tickles me, Anders. There's the first, but he's not going to make it happen. Not this time.
Not this time. That is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You can only have one of those rounds ever. Look, that was a 5-man stack down on long, so yeah, bit of shame for Envy. They couldn't get more out of it. I do want to point out, normally the challenge when you're on the CT side here is, if you want to know what's happening in middle, normally you either stand close to the doors, which is a big risk, but you could at least hear people jumping up and down, or you're standing pretty far back and you're watching up on catwalk, see if you can snipe anyone and listening to what's happening. But it's actually sort of a little bit tricky on the CT side to get information about what the T's are doing. Envy have been really good at that, but they can't put the rounds together afterwards. Kenny now looking over the smoke, and I mean, looks like it's going to be a fast push to B this time.
Oh, and now the Molotov is going to force him out into the open, but Apex just goes mad. He gets a huge spray, and Kenny's going to be there as well. Phelps will finally track down Apex, but Kenny is still alive, and he's scoped up ready. Looking for the angle, not going to get it. His teammates are rotating in as well. The pressure is mounting on Tempo Storm, and HP is not there. Phelps, he's down to 3, but he will find the kill on Kenny. Not on Happy, though. And once again, it's individual performance coming in for Envy. Henny, had he hit that shot on Kenny, would have made all the difference at the beginning. Because clearly, Envy were not expecting there to be somebody in Upper Dark that early on. Kenny was just going for the straight-up jump. He wasn't even trying to play safe. So Henny hits that shot, it changes a lot. But Apex, man, that big spray, that was what it was all about.
You can almost sense a little bit. That's a nice leg shot coming in on Apex. Wow. You could sense almost the Tempo Storm are trying to sort of guess when is the round that we've thrown them off enough on this long push that they're going to try and overcommit to it and maybe just have, you know, 1 mid, 3 long, and 1 B. And then if we push B that round, that we're done, you know, that's it. We've won the round. But that wasn't the right round to do it in. Envy not quite tilted by the pretty aggressive A pushes that have been coming out yet. They're sticking to a more default setup.
Exactly. They just go back to default, basically, Envy. They're like, okay, a little bit of action at long early on. They're going to leave mid wide open because Tempo Storm aren't running B splits. And so just lock down on B site. 2 players there, 3 over on A. And now Tempo Storm, once again, they've got control of catwalk this time around. Molotovs are going to go sailing out as well. Happy quickly changing up his positioning. And it's just going to be a straight rush. Lucas drops down into CT, picks up the first kill on NBK, but Happy's still alive, and he's got that crossfire support from Devil if they do manage to push in behind him. That's what he's counting on at this point.
How's Happy still here? Lucas is right behind him, and he's going to get a great spray in. 3 members of Tempo Storm very low on health, but Lucas trying to take that fight's going to end up falling to Kenny, and it's still a 3-on-3 with the bomb down, and Lucas controlling top mid, and this is a gorgeous position for Showtime. Very hard to actually break that A-bomb site unless you have this mid control here. Showtime is ruining this round right now for Envy. Whatever they're trying to do, it's going to be real tough, and he wins the fight against Apex as well. Kenny, he wants to go for the smoke defuse. They're trying for the smoke, but it goes really long. They're going to miss the off shot as well. Bolt's just peeking out, and now it's all on Kenny. He can't even escape. He gets a great shot in, looks for the last, but Bolt's will be there to save the round. Triple kill for him. And a 7-5 scoreline here. Man, that one position for Showtime is everything.
Yeah, it's just a lurk in mid. He even gets spotted as well. So the fact that he wins the duel, nonetheless, that's so huge. It throws a massive wrench in things for EnVyUs.
They can't rotate back long. They can't go catwalk. They're forced to be funneled up through CT spawn. It's just they're even just sort of on a sort of a mental level. They're constantly focused on something else, right?
Oh, this could be big, though. Massive play here from Envy. They're stacking long, and this time they're just going to go charging straight into tempo. Showtime, though, with the big double spray. He's going to turn it around, and Lucas is there to help him out as well. They know there's a man in pit. Apex still going to find a sick headshot somehow with that P2K, but he roasts alive. And it's down to Happy now versus Henny and Showtime. The last two alive here for Tempo Storm. But that was so expensive for Tempo. Talk about Envy just making the right call. They're like, you're going to go long. Fine, we'll delay flash and just run everybody at you.
And, I mean, they tried that exact thing the last time around, and it didn't work this time. Pretty huge success. Now they're thinking, well, sooner or later, Happy's going to lose patience and come look for us. So, battle of wills and of patience here. We've got a 4 minutes, Selma. What do you want to talk about?
The fact that I thought you just said Basil. So I was like, well, Basil Faulty, where are you going to go with this? Faulty Towers, how is this going to work?
Did you enjoy the new Star Wars film?
Jesus. I'll enjoy the next one when something new actually happens.
That's a very subtle answer, way of saying, oh no. Well, we are also being rudely interrupted by Tempo Storm finally deciding to push up long, and Happy hiding. Very patient here. They come, but it's just going to miss the shots, and now they're way too close. That would have had to have been at least a headshot on the first bullet, and then even then it would have been tricky to follow it up. But he didn't quite do that. Still, significant damage being dished out. I do think Envy are generally all right with not getting most of the rounds on the CT side here. I think if they get up to 6, they're going to be all right. If they get 7, it'd be great. But actually, if they don't win this round, they're sort of out of money, and it could be a 10-5 finish. So a lot rides on this.
Yeah, I mean, it could be set up as well. And yeah, this time around, that smoke is going to work. It's just a 1-for-1 trade, though. Nobody was actually in position to back up Apex in mid. Unfortunately, when they've been going for that mid smoke, they've been having NBK up on catwalk. And he wasn't there to back him up this time around. Since he didn't have the AWP, I guess he felt like he had to go elsewhere on the map. So Apex going for the heroics kind of works, but at the same time, Tempo now, they're in a favorable position because they have 4 players alive. EnVyUs have 4 players alive, but Tempo have the better firepower, seeing as how EnVyUs, they're rocking a Scout and 2 FAMASas. So now it seems like Tempo Storm, they're willing to just sit back and wait. What are Envy going to do now that they have the pressure on them? How are they going to try and change up their game?
Look at how spread out they are. I mean, if all 4 members of Tempo Storm push one place, there'll only be 1 member of Envy. No one can refrag, no one can cover while you're reloading or flash you in or anything like that. It's all on this one guy, and Happy goes down. And you could tell there's no one there. That it's a very, very thin defense, and I'm not a big fan of that. Just, I don't know what the right answer is. Maybe try and set up for an A retake instead. You know, defend mid B and long, and then if they come catwalk, let them, and then try and retake the bomb side.
Kenny's freaking out right now, basically. He does take a clever position, but it is going to be action on catwalk at this point. NBK trying to buy time with the flash. It is going to be effective, and he gets the jumping headshot onto Henny to start. Needs to get the follow-up tag, though, so that Devil can roll in and actually do some damage, because right now, NBK is doing a fantastic job of staying alive and allowing for Devil to come in on the flank. Catwalk finds the kill, and Devil, he's just wreaking havoc at this point. It's down to Bolts, alive on A slope. Bomb is on that site with 10 seconds left. He just doesn't have time to get the plant in at this point. He needs to get all 3 kills, picks up the first, but will fall to NBK in the end. 2 players survive for EnVyUs, and a huge round to keep them in this, because now Tempo, without a bomb plant, puts them in an awkward spot as far as the money is concerned.
Oh, it's 2014 NBK coming out there. Just
right?
Blast from the past.
The man who just knew every really ultra annoying spot to use the jump scout in. The nightmare on Mirage, who would literally just buy scout every round, even a full buy round.
Yeah, and then joke about it on Twitter later. What a dick.
Troll.
It's going to be Lucas down to 24 health, and Henny going to be going down early on here. Envy, a much-needed round of the last one, and this one is turning out quite well. Trading 2 for 1 down on long. A good job on Devil. Just not much backup, but being really proficient with that FAMAS.
Yeah, I mean, just massive damage being dealt here to Tempo Storm. They're all very low on HP. Should be an impossible situation now for Envy to lose. Happy's going on the flank to ensure that they box Tempo Storm in on long. And while NBK still alive on the side, peeks out, takes out Bolts. This is looking so good now for Envy. He's just completely shutting things down. NBK gets the job done single-handedly in the end. Triple kill for him and an 8-7 scoreline. Tempo Storm coming out in the lead on their T side, but still, they should be feeling maybe a little bit disappointed just because they definitely have to feel like they could have gotten more out of this half. EnVyUs on the edge of ecoing so many times. Well,
you saw what
ecoing as well.
You saw what the tiny difference was between what ended up happening, which is an 8-7 finish, or it very easily could have been a 10-5 in favor of Tempo Storm, right? Which is a significant split. So yeah, I mean, if they had just followed through on that round that started so well, it looked like they were going to do it as well. Then NBK with the jump scout and then the follow-up flank coming in from Kenny, I think it was on Catwalk. That was just a bit too much. That slowed them down. I mean, I think once that jump scout shot came through, what they should have done is say, whatever he is, a scout, just kill him now, just rush. But instead, there's like that whole, it's not like an intentional thing, but the team gets just a little bit panicked. They're like, oh, wait a minute. And then that just doesn't work. I think that sort of unintentional slowdown crippled them just a tiny bit. We are headed into the second half here. It's the final game of the day, the final day, game of the group stage, in fact. So we'll be heading in, obviously, quarterfinals and the playoffs and all of that good stuff in the arena. But the first map, so still plenty of Counter-Strike to come here with the DreamHack Masters.
Interesting decision to have Apex buy the utility here for EnVyUs. Considering he got 17 frags in the first half, I mean, he is key for EnVyUs to have a successful T side, because if he goes ham, if he just starts walking in, getting headshots everywhere, like, you want this guy to take point. Just open up that bomb site for you. If he's feeling it right now and hitting the shots, put him in a position to do damage. But it seems like EnVyUs instead are deciding to use Apex in more of a support sort of situation. I mean, support role, seeing as how he's got the nades, so he's going to be the one chucking it in.
I wonder if EnVy have looked at demos from Tempo Storm, because Phelps and Lucas, who are in the B-bomb side, they just both grenaded upper dark with a double nade. And you see how far back EnVy were. They were all the way outside of upper, essentially. Showtime clicking away Apex. Such an annoying way to go on a pistol.
And especially because he's the man holding half your nades. He had a smoke and 2 flashes. What are you going to do now? I mean, you're going to be able to recover the smoke, but... Or no, not even that, a flash. So now, well, this is frustrating for EnVyUs, because, okay, how do they actually set this up? Is Devil going to be able to actually, you know, execute with the flash? Happy's lurking his way through mid, and it looks like the solution here for EnVyUs is just run and gun. Hope that we get through. The hail of bullets is going to be coming at us as Phelps. He's just pounding him. Kenny will find the entry kill onto Lucas, and he gets the dink headshot onto Henny as well. They're all gone. Just like that, EnVyUs are successful with their push onto the B site, and it was so straightforward.
That is ridiculous, because there's 3 members of Tempo Storm holding that bomb site. They had 2 in the back and 1 in the front, just to make a joke out of it. It's Bolt and 1 I can't help myself, I'm sorry. And it's just an awful situation, Jesus Christ. I actually have no idea how they lost that.
I don't either, actually, man. I think it's like... That's like the gamble that you run when you're just spraying through the smoke, is that, okay, you hope that you actually pick up a kill, because if they make it through that smoke and you're reloading, you're dead. Which is kind of what we saw. Delayed flashes from Envy. Seems like they were super effective, because at that point, I mean, Kenny, he hits the headshot on the guy holding box, which is big, because that guy's there to buy you a lot of time with his crouch peek games. But the fact that he dies instantly means that, yeah, it's just Envy are able to just press onto that site. They catch Phelps reloading, and it just falls apart. So there's a little bit of a put down for Tempo Storm. That is not the start that they were looking for, whereas Envy is going to be nothing but feel good for them. 8-8 the score now. And Envy with the buy, 3 rifles, a single SMG, and then Kenny S on the scout. So we'll see if he's going to be effective, if he's going to find an opening here, because Henny has spotted him, and Henny not going to get the tag just yet.
It's hard to say from the outside, as Phelps does pick up a good shot there on MBK, but it really feels like Envy are somehow less burdened than they have been previously. They seem to be playing a much more loose style, you know, just a little bit more relaxed, a little bit less hesitation on their side, you know. I did briefly catch NBK earlier and talk to him a little bit, and he sort of said, well, we do have some pretty big changes coming up sort of after this tournament, tactically, internally in the team. Not talking about roster changes, just talking about, like, you know, switching roles, switching tactics, trying to figure out what's working. So right now in this tournament, we're just gonna, we're gonna sort of take some of the pressure off ourselves and say, let's just go with what feels good, right? And maybe that's what we're seeing here.
And sometimes that's just how you have to roll with it. And when you have the individual talent, which is what was talked about on the desk, right? There's just the star power on Envy, the likes of Apex, of Kenny, Happy, and NBK. And NBK being that rock that you can just count on to deliver time and time again. And yeah, if Envy are just allowed to kind of just go with what feels right, that is what Apex was trying to go for basically throughout the entirety of that first half. You know, that smoke in mid, push around in mid, try and catch somebody out, the big plays out long, just that's what it's all about for Apex. If he has the freedom to just roam around and become this wrecking ball.
Now, here's the issue that I always feel about that particular style is that it's so much easier to do when two things are true. When it's actually working and you're winning, then it's, you know, you keep doing it. And when you are in a group stage, when you get into, if you get to quarters or semifinals, suddenly the sort of the seriousness of the situation dawns on you. And suddenly you're not just playing how you feel good about it. You start to think, oh, we've got to, you know, do some of the stuff that we've been practicing. You know, we got to be like a real team and do, you know, real things and really try and you know, you overthink the situation a little bit too much. And then we've seen this from time and time again. I mean, the classic example, I guess, is NIP when they're playing in Dubai. And ended up knocking out a couple of teams. But then suddenly when
it dawned on them.
Yeah, it got tough at the end at least. Happy boosted in the middle there, just trying to offset the angle that anyone might be looking at, you know, just to give them a bit of a chance to get a shot in. Not a bad idea, and also maybe look over a smoke if one was down there. It's Envy in the lead with a 9-8 scoreline as we move into the 18th round here, so it's still a very, very close game, and Tempo Storm have not yet, on the second half, had a chance to buy him. It's too soon to call who's going to win this. No one's been allowed to run away with this game. They've just been keeping up with each other all along.
It's been tit for tat. Apart from the strong start at the beginning of the half for Tempo Storm, economically both teams have been neck and neck because some of these rounds have been so close. Neither team really establishing that dominant bank. And while Phelps, right on the other side of this smoke, he's trying to play it clever, he's going to go rushing right through, and he might be able to actually catch out Kenny. Not necessarily the best guy to pick up considering he has the scout, but NBK is going to catch out Bolts. That was at Doors, and now Phelps, they have no ideas here. Although, as I say that, Apex will spot him. Nice pistol work coming in from Phelps, though. Shuts down Apex, but it's just, that's all they'll get in this round, Tempo Storm.
Man, there is a parallel universe somewhere, Semler, where the AK from that kill sort of rolls over the box and Phelps picks it up and just kills every single member of the bomb site. Somewhere out there.
But, you know, that's when the universe is stacked against the universe. Of course, it's going to land on the other side of the box. Just how it is.
It's where you need to travel into the multiverse. Go into that other universe.
Okay,
make that work.
Deep.
If you've never seen The One.
Oh, dude, yeah! Reference game on point.
It's an incredible film. Actually, I watch it now and it has some incredibly lame parts. It's a really fun movie anyway. You should watch The One if you haven't seen it. It's a badass film. We are moving into the 19th round now, and Tempo Storm can buy a real rifle, which they have. Henny standing in what was used to call the Fox position from Russian Fox player. Doja's brother was not playing anymore for some damn reason. But that was sort of, maybe someone else before him invented it, but we always attributed it to being him standing in that position. It's such a safe position, right? You take the shot, fall back. Hard to punish for anyone on the other side. No real way that I can think of to throw a grenade there or anything like that. Could try and pre-fire it, but even that's a bit risky.
Yeah, exactly, because you're usually, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're facing an op.
Yeah.
Just standing up there waiting for that pixel to show, and then boom, pulls the trigger, falls back, and then we can see, I mean, Henny now back onto that A slope, taking a little bit more of a passive angle, waiting for EnVyUs to eventually go through with this execute. 45 seconds left, and EnVyUs, 4 of them are just stacked up on catwalk, ready to go. All the nades go sailing out. It's a full-on execute coming in here from the Frenchman, and Henny, he's still alive, but he misses the first key shot. That might make all the difference as Apex catches him out. And this is where it just gets out of control, because now EnVy are sitting on that site. They don't have control of long, but they are going to rush in and take control of CT. Although, as I say that, Phelps is going to catch out Apex. Apex just completely missing his spray.
Oh, I think Phelps got a little bit of help then from, the Bolts got a little bit of help from Phelps there. Happy gets one, and then the second one, Luke is going to be going down. Showtime coming in from long. Phelps with a long spray there, but has to reload, and while he's doing it, Showtime has already gone down. And this 1-on-2, again, no grenades, no smoke to try and force any kind of a peek out. Good spray coming through, but they're still just waiting, and MBK to take him out. The thing is, when the bomb is planted like that, you're not going to be putting down a smoke and going for some sort of full ninja defuse inside, even with the kit. But if you had a Molotov or a smoke, you could at least force someone to peek, and then you could maybe get the kill. I mean, that's what you're trying to do, but as soon as Henny, I think he had to hit one of those shots for this round to be even doable, or even sort of a little bit in Tempo Storm's side of the court, but didn't work out that way.
I'm just freaking out, man. We just saw EnVyUs use a full execute.
This is a good point.
It's like, what? Nades?
They're evolving.
Everybody going together? Not just run and gun? They are evolving. We're going to go full DBZ, you know, it's like not his final form. Envy, they lead 11-8 now, and Tempo Storm on a hard eco pretty much because of just how low their money is. They've lost all 4 rounds here at the beginning of this half, and it's looking like they're going to lose the 5th as well. Apex with a double spray into mid manages to pick up the big kills. And well, now it is going to be the full wrap here onto this B site. Lucas, we saw him go to work with the Deagle earlier on. He's going to get another chance to shine here, and he is getting some damage in. Apex getting tagged down to 46, and Lucas still alive, but he gets dunked on. Big nade coming in from Apex. And in the end, it will be Kenny and Devil picking up the last 2 kills, but Apex with 3 in this anti-eco. So more of the feel-good happening here for Apex. He's at 23 kills so far in this first half. Top fragging on the map. Well, in the second half, rather, but top fragging on the map.
Kobe sadly retired, but still here in spirit.
Damn straight. We'll keep him alive, man. Only dropped 60 points in his last game ever, as well. As like,
that is true.
Pretty beast.
If you're going to go out, then, you know.
Go out in style, right? You got nothing to lose. Just wreck.
Try and make it extra hard for anyone else to follow in those footsteps. Well, 12-8 being the scoreline here, and we've got the 21st round coming up, and Tempo Storm, it's not quite their final chance to make a mark on the second half, but we are getting close now. Their money not looking good, and Envy have had a much better start to their terrorist half here than Tempo Storm did. That's 5 rounds in a row currently for them. Now, they're trying to push upper, and Phelps actually, sorry, I thought that was Henny for a second. He's going to be picking up the kill on NBK, and that's a very valuable kill as well.
That's a sick kill, because it's such a hard angle for NBK. NBK, he's holding for somebody to push aggressively. So obviously when he doesn't see that happen, he starts to edge his way forward, and boom, walks right into the waiting AWP. That couldn't have gone better for Tempo. But the double up play here for Tempo, I mean, it's Henny's time to shine. He gets that smoke down to block himself off, turns away from the flashes as well, and it's all going to be on these next shots as they come through. Devil not going to get anything in CT. Instead, it's Bolts shutting down 2 players. Kenny will win versus him in the end, but the damage is done. Although, as I say that, Happy will catch out Henny in the open. So Showtime trying to rotate in from long will get stopped cold, but the kill goes for Phelps, and it's all on Happy now in a 1v3.
And what do you do at this point? There's a clock running against you as well. 30 seconds. He tries to see if he can get in there. He's got the bomb picked up. He gets shot right through the door. Flashbang not going to affect whoever's on the other side. And he goes for the spray again, but they are wrapping around him. Other 2 members are coming in, and he can't even really rotate anywhere else here. Going to put up a bit of a smoke and try and see if he can run back. But with 15 seconds, I don't see how he could make it up to the bomb site. He's going to try anyway. 10 seconds here, looking for the Glock shots. 8, 7. Oh, he's running this one very close. Oh, he's not going to make it. Not going to be in the zone in the time. And he'll save the AK at least, unless he goes for a fight here, which is risky. Wow, if he had another 2 seconds, that would have been it.
Yeah, even in 1 second, he might have had it. Jeez, way too close, Happy. Just the decision, the split-second decision to start, you know, making that play to wrap back around towards A just doesn't work this time around. So a little bit of frustration showing there for Happy. Actually, you know, Happy, you can't really tell, you know, the hand is always kind of there. So happy, sad, frustrated, mad. You know, he exists in this one state, Anders. And that state involves a facepalm.
Yeah, wow. Doesn't matter how well his team is performing.
EnVyUs, even so, they have the money for a full buy, of course. So 12-9, and now it's their chance. I mean, this could also be the ideal kind of scenario here for Envy, just because if they win this round, Tempo Storm, they get hard reset back down to 1,400 starting money. Tempo Storm have no bank to speak of right now. That would be a catastrophe. So there we go. That's what needs to happen here for Tempo Storm. Henny, he starts things off playing that same position on Catwalk. He wins the duel versus Kenny. And now Tempo Storm have that man advantage going into the rest of this round.
A good opening. Taking Kenny out of that round. Jumping down Apex. What is that play? Flying off the ledge and taking Bolts with him as he landed. Showtime in the pit, strong position. The bomb is going to be going down. Apex has been such a force in this first half already. They are playing a man behind here, Envy, but if they can win this round, they'd reset tempo very hardly indeed. It's going to be Apex going down, trading in the middle though, still giving his team a chance to make this work. Devil and Happy seeing if they can just buy enough time for this bomb to go off. And Devil with a beautiful flank coming through here, taking out Lucas. That's going to put Henny and Showtime just a little bit on edge. He's got the Molotov here, going to be putting it up straight away. And Showtime forced forward. Can he actually defuse this? The Molotov's not covering him, and I'm not sure if... Oh, he gets the shot in the back! And that's going to be Henny now, has to run away. Envy making some noise as well, and up to 13-9. What a win. What an entrance from Apex.
Yeah, I mean, that's all Apex actually downloading Bolts, basically, saying, Bolts, if you're going to play CT every round, I'm going to be ready for you, bro. He just goes leaping right down onto him, and this time around, Apex not going to drop. He's actually going to get the kill, and it all starts out from there, because at the same time, Devil, well, they realize when Apex actually peeks out and looks long, he sees the man in pit, and that's all the information he needs at that point. They know, okay, well, we came up catwalk, obviously, so we don't have to worry about that. We know that there's a man over on long. And then it's all about maintaining cat control so that Happy can go for that play in the end. Basically, just sit on that bomb and just make sure that the defuse can't come through. With the AWP, that was like the perfect gun to have as well. Just needs to hit that one shot, and then it's all over for Tempo. And so this is actually a technical pause coming out here. Seems like somebody dropped out of the server for Envy, so not a tactical pause used by Tempo, but you know, they might appreciate a little bit of a break here. Might appreciate a little bit of a moment just to kind of sit and ponder like what they actually need to do with all of like the 2,000, 2,500 that they have in the bank right now. There's no way they can force.
No, that would be suicide.
Like you go for the force buy, you hope that you can keep EnVyUs off of 14 rounds, but they choose to actually allow Envy to get up to 14 so they can get a better buy in the next round and just hope to play flawless CT defense basically after that, because that's what they're going to need to keep EnVyUs off that map point.
Yeah, which I don't think is not an unrealistic thing to try and do at this point. I mean, it's definitely possible for them to win 6 rounds in a row here, or 7 in a row on the CT side. You could do that, but they are going to need to come up with something different. Right now, Envy are looking strong, though. Happy, getting a bit overwhelmed over at long. They are going to be able to steal that AK. MBK with a bit of a fading AK headshot there. And he sees the second player too and drops Lucas, so managing to stabilize the round.
Now that seals the deal. Now they can push into B, no problem at all. That was sick reaction time from MBK to pick up the first man running across. That's just like pure, just muscle memory kicking into effect there. Because he was already falling back and he just hits that fadeaway headshot. So nice recovery there from MBK. Good play as well from Tempo Storm over at long to take out Happy. That's what it's all about. You can't just like bait your teammates in that sort of scenario. You need to commit together. And so there's just no way once Happy gets headshot that close with the pistols, no way he's going to survive. So it's the small details coming through. But Tempo, it's all about this next round, and it's all about Henny holding on to this this AK just so they can have an AK to play with. It means that somebody will be able to afford all of the nades, get a kit, get the helmet, get everything basically. So that could make the difference going into this next round, considering that one-shot headshot potential you get from the AK-47.
Yeah, plus I think they might need to drop for Showtime. He's got 1,600 now, so they don't have a lot of lost bonus either. I mean, it's gonna be a really tough round for them here at Tempo Storm regardless. It'd be different if they had, you know, the full lost bonus, but they did just win the one round, right? So just not that much in his pockets. 3,500. I mean, even Lucas is having some issues here, so yeah, this is the round that's going to decide how the first map either ends or continues.
I love it. So not only do they get the technical pause before this round of eco, now is the time that Tempo go for their timeout. So now is their time to actually sit and debate what they want to do. How do they want to deal with EnVyUs now that they can actually afford to go for some rifles here?
25 kills on Apex as well. It's quite the map for him. Just been getting a lot of good entries all over the place, and it's been on fire, it seems.
Well, I was talking about how Lucas and Henny seem to be like the two guys that really need to come alive for Tempo Storm, like that carrying force that allows them to, you know, get across that finish line and actually pick up that first map, right? EnVyUs is the same thing with Apex. Apex, whenever it's just like there's no question that Apex is a star player. It's just so frustrating to see his consistency. Like sometimes he just goes beast mode, like we're seeing on this map, where he just seems to win all the duels. He takes the initiative, runs in, takes these fights, and it gives EnVyUs all the space they need to then close in on the site and lock out the round from there, right? But other times you just see Apex like whiff everything, right? You know, it's like it's either you're getting this god tier Apex or you're getting this Apex who just, you know, he's just randomly running around on the map, not bringing anything, and that's when you really see EnVyUs struggle. So luckily for EnVyUs, you know, considering their tournament lives are on the line right now, it's the Apex who gets the job done that showed up today.
We'll see how far they could push it. I mean, once your entry fragger works, everything else on the terror side especially becomes so much easier. Of course, that flashbang he put out on long was also pretty good. I must have set like a good level for him personally.
That's that feel-good moment where you know, okay, this is my game now. I'm just going to run around and do whatever the hell I want. The CS gods have clearly approved. Now they're here to back me up. Full flash on everything, and yeah.
Let's see if tempo, this is what I'm curious about, because when you're this close to being edged out of the map, are you going to take the risk and try and play for information? Because that's always a bit risky. You know, try and do a double boost on catwalk, run down middle, see if you can see anyone, maybe pick someone off. They do have the AWP and Henny, they could boost them up there with some backup. I mean, if they get that kind of an early start, then they'll make their lives just a bit easier. We are resumed in the round here. And Kenny looking for the cross shot, and it seems like they will be going for the boost. Volts and Henny up there. So, information play, and this is a bit scary, a bit risky. Obviously needs some lighter on other parts of the map. Suppose EnVy had gone for a long push here. Showtime would be in a lot of trouble, but we'll see if it's going to be rewarded here. I definitely like the style. I think it's a cool play from Tempo Storm.
It's the way to change it up because they've been playing a lot of passive sort of holds. Exactly.
Brilliant.
You know, playing in the Fox spot. They've been playing a lot of passive holds up there. And so Happy, he just goes crouching right in. Not even a nade. You know, he's got two teammates sitting top mid. Happy could call for the flash onto catwalk before he goes for that peek to make it easier for him, right? If somebody is holding that angle, bam, you know, he steps in, takes the fight, or at least he survives. But the fact that Tempo Storm haven't really been going for like straight aggression on cat like that, going for those tricky kind of setups, just maybe, you know, Happy kind of like lets it slip a little bit. He's like, okay, you know, I'm just going to go and peek on my own. And that plays right into Tempo Storm's hands. So now, well, they actually even leave Showtime behind, which is going to be a bit of a donation, considering Apex and Devil are there. Both shots hit. Henny, though, steps out, decides to get the job done himself. Apex is gone, and we're into a 3-on-3 retake now. The bomb making its way up the catwalk and onto that A site.
Man, if this slips out of Tempo's fingers, that's almost too much to handle, isn't it? 3-on-3 for the A retake is definitely doable, but they lose Lucas very early on, and Phelps wants to sneak in. He's covered by the smoke for a moment. Gonna go for the spray down, shuts down Devil. Flashbang got some, but they gotta take care of Pit. That's the big problem. They still have Kenny to deal with down there. And NBK up in the side. They're going to go for the boost, see if they can take down Kenny. But no, NBK is not going to happen. Phelps going down, and now Henny faking with the pistol, going for the shot. He kills Kenny in the pit. What a shot. Goes for the spray, but he can't hit it. NBK to get the triple, save the round on 14 health. And that will be map point here for EnVy. 15-9. That was a beautiful round in so many ways, but that loss on the catwalk, the two people going down without trading anything, that was too much of a giveaway.
Exactly. And Henny did the best that he could. Tried to come in, he went for the big plays and just accomplished. I mean, it's basically NBK in the end who just locks it down. You can trust an NBK to come in through the clutch. And EnVyUs, they're running right into it this time. Again, aggression on catwalk, but Kenny's going to be there. Devil there to help as well. They're just going to keep powering through here, EnVyUs. No respect whatsoever. Walk up challenge. Get the dig out while you're at it. Apex will rob him of the kill, but still, points for Kenny.
Oh, Lucas alone and making noise in lower dark as well. Not really going to be working out. Happy takes him out, and it will end 16-9 in favor of EnVy on the first map here as a best-of-3 game. So still more to come, obviously, but what a way to end it. That looked like such a beautiful start there. Great timeout to be taken. They found the perfect way to open the round, and then suddenly it slipped out of their hands. Tempo Storm, they're going to have a little bit of time. You can see the frustration there on Bolts talking, and they're just, they're definitely feeling the pressure right now, you could bet.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised to see that much emotion after the first map like that. I mean, sure, Tempo Storm have got to be feeling like this was our map to take.
Yeah.
You know, we actually had a fairly decent first start. It slipped out of our fingers a little bit towards the end of the first half, but it's still a score that we can work with. I think that they're just going to be kicking themselves wondering, you know, where the hell did this Apex come from? Because I think the Apex is literally the man who made all the difference. NBK and Apex together, they made all of the difference in the end for EnVyUs, especially coming down into winning those clutch situations, but just Apex going ham on the entries. I mean, they'll talk about it on the desk, but Apex, you know, just historically for EnVy has always been like this key player. If he goes ham, that's when they win.
Yeah. What a way to start off the last match here. We've got more coming up, of course, second map, but before we do, we've got a bit of a commercial break, and then we'll be right back.